My name is Brandy Rodriguez. I'm the president for the Transgender Coalition. I'm a trans woman living in Trinidad and Tobago. My calling for this was way back in the 90s. I had to understand what my body was feeling and understand what it is that I wanted to do, and understanding what it is that the working together to understand where it is that I have to be. It took a lot for me to understand this journey, and it gives me the opportunity now to identify as this trans woman. It actually started as a child and having to really understand what this was all about. I feel very comfortable now that I have the education and the training. Transgender is identifying the sex that is opposite to what you're born, and it really is just living the sex that you feel that you believe that you could have been or feel comfortable living, not the one you actually say. They say, well, okay, you are me. Transgender is actually living and feeling the way that the body tells the mind what it is going on with. I have not completed full transitioning. Still in the process. There's a lot for us here in Trinidad and Tobago, and I want to stay here in Trinidad and Tobago. There are a lot of laws that is not in place that I could present, as a trans woman who have medically transitioned. There's a lot of obstacles. There are laws not in place. I still won't have the correct, the gender marks on my documentation, so I still have a lot of hindrance where that is concerned. My family has been very good to me, and we are very close. We talk about, a lot of things that actually goes on. So there's no confrontation and all of that. There has not been anything. There has not been any issues or challenges where that is concerned. I am very fortunate to have the family support. So here I am, dealing with the stigma and discrimination that persons faces from the LGBTI community. There are different layers, and I think being trans really comes with this additional stigma and additional discrimination. So I think this is what, I could safely say have been a great challenge to me. In terms of abuse and violence, that's, I think it's a customary thing that trans women go through, because the violence could start as in the home, and with the family. The abuse starts. Some of the documentation and stuff starts there, and they are always, along the way, getting to work, getting home. There are different levels of abuse and different kind of stigma and discrimination, and even in organizations, there are also trans women being in organizations, in the LGBTI organizations also, there are internal stigma and discrimination. My public life, to be honest with you, I have a lot of passing privilege as a trans woman. Really and truly, I have never really, I've never felt serious abuse. Someone might just, you might pass in public and say, I wonder if there's a man or a woman like that. But to say, big stones and rocks and, bottle and all of that, no, I have never really been through that. I have known persons who have been through that. And it all starts with your packaging, how you package, how you present, and your discipline and mannerism. So it packaging has a lot, and passing privilege has a lot to do with the violence on the streets. So I think I have learned my packaging, I package myself fairly enough that I could have the passing privilege where I could, and people may have doubts on their mind, but it's not like they want to violate. Passing privilege would be how you present. And presenting is not just the clothes that you wear, your makeup on your face, but it's your discipline. It's your total presentation when you're out there as being identifying as trans. You have to be as authentic as you could possibly be, because not everybody would understand transitioning, and there would be some redressed, or some people might not. No, this is not good. This is not good. Because remember, we have a lot of what I must say, information shared by the faith-based organizations saying that this is wrong, this is not good, and people tend to hear things like that and go with things like that in different spaces. We have there's no protection for trans persons on a whole. Trinidad and Tobago is in a space where our community, our country, our people are very, they are very gay friendly. So the laws on a whole, we need to get these supporting laws for like the workplace policies. We need to get HIV. We need to get the Ministry of Health and National Security on board to protect the human rights, your basic human rights, freedom of movement, access to justice, and so where our laws really lacked, where the human rights, the discipline to have rights as a human being, our laws need to be amended. And I honestly think if we get these sort of laws as everybody live in equality, we would not have a problem. If we could fix some of these laws, we will not have a problem in Trinidad and Tobago. My biggest challenge right now would be the gender identity laws, my gender mark. I would like to, present my documentation as I present myself in my documentation right now, but it still identifies me to be male, and I think more consideration should be done for persons who are trans, and also for the persons who are non-binary. Non-binary persons are also asking who doesn't identify to be either male or female to be respected. And also for the persons who are transitioning from male to female. These are some of the challenges, basic challenges that we have. And everything that we do on ID must be presented. Access to health, going to the bank, every day I think you have to use some form of ID. If you use a credit card now, you have to present an ID. So I think there's a lot of things that you really don't want to share. You have to, because of this new laws that is in place that must present ID for all these new things that is going on. To be honest with you, it's we still have a lot to do. We still have a lot to do, and we still have a far way to go. I welcome I welcome the fact that they had considered trans women, because trans women identify to be women. Not all women would respect that, but the few who say yes and welcome trans people in that space, it's not about tolerance, but it's about respect. I think we all have to respect each other's rights and the decision to live our authentic lives. More should be done, if more could be done, but I welcome the fact that we are in conversation and we have been acknowledged. So honestly, there's a growing population of trans persons in Trinidad and Tobago, and I would like to see my community stay here and live here. I have had numbers of persons travel to the US, to Canada, to London, and to Europe to complete their transition and live their lives in these first world countries. But really and truly, it only gives you the living information and the living as a human and living as a trans woman. But it still doesn't change much. Doesn't really change much. If any information I want to share in general with anybody, regardless of the level of education, if anybody um, why it is that my choice to transition. Not medically, not everybody has the same natural birth. In terms of me as a person who has transitioned, I have had challenges and issues, and my chromosome does not fit the normal X and Y. There was more Y and there was less X. That is something that I was born with as a trans person, and I realized that I had to do, because it comes with, if you have to test most of the persons who identify to be trans and want to live this way, it starts with a medical condition. It's not something you just pick up like this. I just, to wear female clothing. It was a chromosome issue that I had to deal with, and it's how I felt, because it's a natural thing. And it was from childhood. I knew that I was different. I knew it was different, and I trust the process going through it. And now I understand what it is. Looking back at the many years gone by, I understand why I was why I felt certain ways and why I was doing certain things. And then my medical records show my chromosome levels. It was, always different from the regular person who identified to be me.